Okay, folks, I wanted to talk to you right now about some things that basically got on my mind. Uh, Let me tell you what some of them are. I was thinking about the people that had basically made me stop to think about not only my life, but the life of those around me. And before I get too carried away, I wanted to explain what I mean. My name is Pastor Isaac David Brigmond, and I am the pastor of the Christian Hearts Christian Fellowship online ministry. And I wanted to tell y'all about people. There's some people in this world that pretty much, instead of trying to judge a person by who they are, they judge them by what they're not, and they see things about them that aren't there. Like to say if I did something they didn't like, and so they turn around and make fun of me instead of trying to see me as God does. And that gets kind of on my nerves because as you grow old in life, you start seeing things like God does, and you start trying to see things as God does see them. But what hurts my feelings is that we've seen people live in a world where God basically has told us to put people on a level of, well, we should see people through God's eyes, but instead of how they see through the devil's eyes. And I've seen people I've heard recently get opportunities to make new friends and possibly go otherwise, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, wives. And it makes me feel like I don't want anybody to basically go backwards in life. See this nice hat here? It says God's Army. I believe in that. I'm a part of God's Army. Once you get in God's Army, you're never considered a veteran. You're never considered X. You're always in the Army, and you're always a soldier. And that's something I like to let people know that once you're in God's Army, you're always there. Yes, I do look like I do, but if you love me as a pastor, then you'll see me as what God does. No matter what your hairstyle is, face or head or otherwise, people should see people for what God sees them as, people that are people. And if they take God seriously, then that's what should matter. I'll give an example of such story. When you sit there and tell me, or anyone for that matter, that you'll never find nobody, or even if you could find someone, what's the use in it because they won't accept you as you are, or it's a bunch of trouble. Well, when you live in a world of what you can't do, you live in that world for so long until people start talking to you about, well, yeah, well, I can't do this or I can't do that. And then one day it happens that somebody else comes along and tells you, oh yes, you not only can you do these things, but they're there to show you that. They may not exactly say that, but in their own way, they do say it with the way they treat you. If people are treating you wonderfully and good, then what you do for that story is you love that person that is doing this to you, this wonderful thing to you. Because if they're seeing you through God's eyes, then that means that they pretty much already accept you for who you are. And we have to stop this naysaying, saying nay, that it will never happen. Because I always thought to myself, it wouldn't happen. Then it happened. Then when it didn't work out, I always thought, well, it won't happen again. But it did happen again. And I say it like this because I don't want people to think that it's bad or whatever. I just want y'all to think, hey, it's going on in this world and it'll go on in this world. And we got to accept the fact that it has gone on and will go on. I've seen a lot of people want to pick at people like me because they don't understand. I told y'all from the get-go that the way that I came into the ministry was I got called by God and Jesus to preach and teach on the internet. Well, basically it started out to preach and teach. And then as time went on, I learned that it was meant for me to do it on the internet and then possibly one day have a church. Well, people started saying you're not a real preacher. Well, That depends on God's definition of a pastor, of a man of God. If God says you are a man of God, then that means you are one. And it doesn't take a genius or somebody up there in the highest degree to do that. It takes a heart and a soul and a passion for God. And no matter what a man's facial hair is or his style on his head is, it's not all about all that. And it's not about his southern slang or his northern slang. I mean, yes, I do say humans are humans, but I do say that they don't come in one shape and size, and you have to base your life that you have with them on what goes on. Too many people have based their life on what goes on, or base the lives of other people by what goes on, as in, well, if this person looks a certain way, why should we deal with them? Well, that's a negative attitude to have, because if you see this person doing what God told him to do, then you need to lay aside all that mess. I mean, yes, I'm 37, fixing to be 38 in May, but that doesn't make me a bad person because I trust in God, and it doesn't make me a bad person because I trust in God looking like I do. But you know, when you dive deep into what God is talking about, God said that even back in the day, people dressed a lot like I did. And it wasn't because of a have-to thing. It was a status thing. Meaning they wanted to see themselves a certain way, so they did it. And I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but you do have to take things the way God tells you to take it, with life, liberty, and happiness, not with crying and not with whining because some dude wasn't pitching fits the way you want him to, or he wasn't living the way you want him to. If you want him to live a good life, you should want him to live the way God asked him to live, not the way that we want him to live, because our rules should not have any bearing on the man's life. It should be less of a problem, because what we want to do is say that God is here for us. You know, I've been told I don't sound Southern. I sound more like I'm from somewhere else besides the South. Then there are others that say I have a thick country accent. That depends on where you are on the map. I understand that, but I want y'all to know that no matter where you come from, no matter what I sound like, remember the message is still the same. Put God first in everything you do. And when you deny that there's anybody out there for you, you'll find out later on, oh, there's someone for you. You just got to look for him or her. As in, when they're in front of you, take the opportunity to get to know them. See if they're really for you for the cause of good, or are they wanting to get to know you for the cause of what they want? Because you can't sit there and say, I want to date someone, and then turn around and all you really wanted was to shake the bed. I mean, you can shake the bed all you want when you're married, but when you're young and dating, you can't do that, because if you do, I don't care if I'm guilty of anything or not. I say what I've done in my past, that was my past. What I've done in my future is my future. And I say to y'all, let your future reflect the rest of your life. So if yesterday was your past and today is the future, let this future that you have now reflect on the future you'll have later on down the road. And we should put God first in everything we do and deny the devil. Don't deny the devil as in the devil don't exist, but deny the devil as in we deny him as our leader, because he doesn't belong in our lives as our leader. He belongs in our lives as someone to stay away from. He belongs in our life as someone that we must deal with if we sin. And I've seen people take what they know about God and twist it around to sound like they want it to be, so they can manipulate the God-loving people that they deal with. So say if I love God and you don't love God, but you have knowledge of God, so you take your knowledge of God and you twist it around to basically say, hey, I want you to treat God the way I ask you to treat God. And you're like, why? So the point to the story is, it's like if you told me to go do something and you said God told you to tell me to do it, then I find out you lied. What it was is that you manipulated God to get what you wanted. You twisted the knowledge you had of God around to get what you wanted instead of what God wanted. And people do that to the point of making folks mad because they want the world to be what they want it to be instead of what it is, or what it should be, and what it could be. So we need to stop this mess. Stop picking on the President of the United States. Yes, I know that our government has been messed up, and I understand that our government's not right. But I still say quit picking on it. It doesn't make you no better or worse to do this. It just shows you have a lack of responsibility and a lack of care for not only yourself, but for your fellow neighbors. Your fellow neighbors I'm speaking of is anybody that lives on this earth just like you do. Because not only are you their neighbor, they're your neighbor too. And I ask you to also pray for my mouth. I'm having right here on the inside of my mouth, I think what it is some kind of sore or some kind of spot on that line that connects the lip to the gum down here near the chin. And it's been bothering me for a while. And all, but I just want y'all to know I love y'all. And I want y'all to stop this complaining. See, God says that a sermon from your pastor does not always have to come in the form of a Bible verse. It can come in the form of other messages from God. Like this one is about trying to stop making fun of yourself and saying that you can't find nobody because there ain't nobody out there for you. And if you do find somebody, what good is it going to do you? What good it'll do you is if you find somebody that God put in front of you as a friend or otherwise, love that neighbor of yours. Love that boyfriend, girlfriend, husband or wife, because you're not going to get another chance at it. And if you don't love that person the way God tells you to love them, you're asking yourself to be in trouble with yourself and with God, because you'll look at yourself and get so angry one day when you don't have nobody to deal with. You don't have no husbands and wives, boyfriends or girlfriends, and it makes it hard to live a life when you're lonely. Because when you're lonely and know you want someone in your life, that you want them for dating purposes and not sexual purposes, it gets kind of frustrating and lonely, and you get tired of it. But it's only you to blame if you use your likes and dislikes as an excuse to basically run folks off, because I've seen it happen before. Folks get a lifestyle that they know is wrong to have, but they so love that lifestyle, and they don't think about that lifestyle messing up relationships. So they continue to like these things, and it finally tears up their love life with friends and family, and makes it hard to meet new people, so they get in trouble. And then they end up not being able to have a relationship with somebody because that person they could have got with, they pretty much run them off by letting their lifestyles come up front. And I'm not saying your lifestyle shouldn't be up front, but you should let the lifestyle that goes up front be an honest lifestyle that is honest and good-hearted, not stupid and dumb, and make you look like a heathen or look like a sinner. Yes, we all sin and come short of the glory, but it doesn't mean that we can't live a life of, let's let the man that we come across today that wants to be our friend, if he's worth it, if it's worth it to be his friend, then I say don't let that lifestyle we have run him off, because he might be the greatest friend we never had before and that we need now in our lives. And God may approve of him to be in our lives. But we can't sit there and say, well, God, what do I do now because I'm so lonely? Well, God looks at you like, well, you wouldn't be lonely if you hadn't have throwed your lifestyle in front of people without cleaning it up first. Before you throw your lifestyle in front of somebody, make sure it's cleaned up first, because I don't want to see y'all get in trouble for something that you could have avoided by just trying to make your life a lot better. If you like death, try to enjoy life. Try to enjoy. Why do you love death so much? What is in death that you appreciate so much? Couldn't you appreciate life and what life has to offer? And if you enjoy the devil, why do you love the devil lifestyle and the devil paraphernalia, or nega, or how you would say, or the accoutrements of the devil? Why can't you love the accoutrements of God, the paraphernalia of God, and learn to accept God for who he is, and to overlook the devil and say, devil, I know you're there, but let's overlook you because you're nothing to me. Why don't we do that? Don't let the things that we do in our lives trip us up to the point of, whoops, I done messed up because I let my lifestyle get in front of me, instead of trying to let my lifestyle be something that I have to clean up to show the world I'm a better person. I mean, I'm not saying that, we have to lie and all, but if you're going to tell about your lifestyle, please don't let your lifestyle be something, when you tell it, it runs them off. Let it be something that interests them. You like things that they may not like, but yet just the fact of what you do like, whether they like it or not, gets their attention, gets them excited and want to know more about you. And they say, well, how interesting is this to know this about you? And then they can have fun, exploring life with you, not being the person that runs from you because you like things of death, you like things of goth, or you like things of goth, or what's the other one, of occult, or of there's another one I'm trying to think of, emo or goth. Well, being that way, it proves that you enjoy things that don't make no sense and make it look like you're leaning towards Satanism and all these things like Satanism and clanism and occultism and all that stuff. And we have to fall away from that stuff. We have to fall towards God. We have to lean on God more and more every day for what we need and what we want out of life, that is practical needs and wants. Because God said that I'll give you your needs and I'll give you your wants as long as they're of serious mind, heart, and soul and spirit. And when we want things of a practical nature, then God says, okay. When we want and need of practical things, then God says, okay, you want and need of things that are truthfully something you should have. Then he grants you what he believes you deserve from that. But he wants you to stop all this stupid mess that you do in this world, because sometimes you want a man to do something for you that would cause him to get in trouble, and then you later on have to say, why did I do that? I think a lot of times people do that because they don't think before they act. And when you don't think before you act, sometimes you say and do things you wish you'd never said and done, and it hurts not only you, but sometimes it hurts others because they got to go through this mess with you. Man looking at another man like, dude, this ain't right. And then you're like, what's wrong? Well, you live a life that's not right. So then I have to tell you that. So by telling you that, that pretty much lets me look like the guy that had to tell you something that I really didn't want to tell. So, or either if I liked dead animals, okay, then first thing's going to be is when some folks find out about it, they run. Now, did I say I really like dead animals? No, I don't. But just to say, if I did, for the sake of the example, if I was a single guy, it would be kind of hard for me to get with a woman because that would come out and then they'd run because they're not into men that want to be into something like that. So you have to let your image be a honest image, but a clean, honest image. You know, you can't say, well, I believe in this or I love this or that. And then people look at you like, well, why do you believe in this? Why do you love this so much? And sometimes we don't have an honest answer for that. We just want people to hear our story and not dare think about, well, why didn't we just say how we really felt? Probably would have helped a lot, but I say don't let your life be a lie, but don't let your life run off a potential boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife. Now, if you are seriously honest with them and they don't like you still, then I say you got problems right there. But you have to say that if you're honest with these people and open with them, and let your honesty and openness be of a nature that is pleasing to you. You know, don't say, well, I appreciate this and I appreciate that, so my appreciation of things is okay with me. When no one goes, well, what if my appreciation of things I really care about, what if they lead me to a world of freakism? When I say freakism, I mean freaking people out and making people feel weird and uncomfortable around me. Well, that'd be on my head, and it'd be my fault because all I had to have done was just stop the mess I did, and I wouldn't have to worry about it. But no, I had to hear all about it every day. And it's like you can't sit there and do that. You got to live a life of, well, what happened? Why why is people running from me? Well, they run from you because your lifestyle pretty much runs them off itself. And you have to do better with yourself. You can't sit there and be like, you know, someone comes up to you and wants to be your friend or your husband or your wife or your boyfriend. You can't sit there and let this person just get in front of you and say these things, and then you decide you're interested in it. And so you want to get more into what they're about, but then you find out they're honest, and what if you're not honest? And then they get weird on you because you wouldn't dare say, okay, this is what I really want to do, or this is really I really feel. But, you know, I know I sound weird because I'm a little tired right now because it's late at night. It's like 1 or 2 something in the morning. But what I'm trying to get at, if I talk slurry or talk out there in the twilight zone, forgive me because I'm a little tired, but what I'm trying to say is don't let the things that you deal with in life run people off. Don't say, well, I believe in witchcraft, say, which I don't really, but just say for the sake of the story, I do. And next thing you know, somebody wants to go out with me if I was single. And then they find out they can't because they're scared that I'm going to do something stupid to them when they find out about the witchcraft story. So that means change your lifestyle to be an honest lifestyle, but an honest lifestyle that is pleasing to people, pleasing to the good people or the bad, or both. I mean, like, don't let someone say, okay, we're going to go out on a date, and then next thing you know, they find out what you're all about, and they're like, no, thank you, I can't do it. And you're like, why? It's like, because you into the devil, and you like all this and that and the other. No, thank you, I found out. Whether you tell them or not, somebody who's going to know you is going to rat you out and tell them, well, he's a such and such type of guy. And then next thing you know, you're like, whoa, why did they do that? So your best bet is, number 1, don't have a lifestyle that is so spooky it runs these people off. And number 2, you need to be honest with people, but work on letting your honesty be truthful and be decent and honorable, not something like, well, porno or don't let it be drugs or alcohol and all that. Let it be, oh, well, I go to church and I believe in God and I believe in Jesus. I believe in good preaching. Go have a lifestyle that makes people interested in you, but let it be honest, because we don't want to see you get hurt by people making fun of you or people running from you because you freaked them out for something you did. Let them be happy for something you did. Let them know you love them. Don't sit there and be like, well, I've done this and that and the other, and then you're like, really, huh? It's like, yeah, I did. Then you want people to know, if they know you did something wonderful, let it be honestly wonderful and let it be wonderful. Don't let it be something where they have to be fearful of you and our others because of the fact of what you said or done to them. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but if I was, I sure wouldn't be trying to get people to, believe in me if my truth is trash truth. If it's honest, clean truth, I'd say by all means, love me for who I am and take me for who I am. Don't sit there and be like, well, I can't talk to this guy because he didn't follow so-and-so yet. Well, if I'm not following people, as in you being their follower, then probably they had a problem in their life that led me away from them, and I didn't want to deal with them because if I did, I'd get myself in trouble. But in the same sense, you got to pray for them, and you got to let God know that you're not giving back or backing down to these people. You're not cowering down or whatever. You're saying that you love them and they are important to you enough for you to tell them the honest truth. To say, yeah, I believe in this, and I honestly do believe in it. And I'm not going to back down just because, in other words, make sure that your thing that you're about is honest and clean and decent, and that God approves of it, and stop all this believing in Satanism, Buddhism, whatever crazy thing you believe in that makes you look stupid, like skulls or looking at things. Because see, I guess the point I'm trying to get at is just have an honest lifestyle that is really honest and clean and true, and not one that's dirty and true. Truth can come in dirty, truth can come in clean. And you want to be in a group of people that are clean and decent. You want to be in a group of people that are honest, and that no matter what changes it goes through in your life, that you know God's got your back for it, and that these people know it too, and that they know that if they need help, they can call on the same Father that was for you, because it's not just for you, it's for them too. So all I'm saying is just let your life shine, and when your life shines, let it shine for a stand of stop picking on people. Stop trying to say who they are and what they are. Learn who they are, learn what they are, and learn what they're about. That's number one. And don't start this mess about, well, this is what happened or didn't happen, or, well, this is what, just be honest and say, look, here's what happened as far as I know, and that's as far as I can go. That's one. What's another one? Another one is be honest. And when you're honest, let your honesty about your lifestyles be truthfully about not only the lifestyles, but what we continue to do with the attitudes about the lifestyles, or should they just give up? But anyhow, I gotta let you go. God bless you and have a nice evening.